Ethan's heart raced as he walked into the cozy little cafe tucked in the corner of downtown Boston. The warm aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the soft hum of conversation. But his mind was elsewhere, nervous energy coursing through him as he prepared for a blind date set up by his well-meaning sister. Being a single dad for the past 3 years hadn't exactly left him with much time for romance, and tonight, the prospect of meeting someone new felt more like a leap of faith than an exciting opportunity. As he settled into his seat, juggling the weight of a briefcase in one hand and the mental checklist of parenting duties in the other, a familiar laugh echoed across the room. His breath hitched. That laugh, impossible but undeniable, it belonged to her. Clara, his first love. The girl who had once made his heart feel like it could soar and break at the same time. They had been inseparable in college, dreaming of a future neither could afford, until life had torn them apart in the most ordinary yet heartbreaking way. Ethan had watched her disappear one summer, leaving a note so simple yet so final, and he had never quite stopped wondering what became of her. Now, she stood there, radiant and composed, the kind of presence that made the world pause. But there was something different, an aura of confidence and accomplishment that hadn't existed in their youthful days. She smiled, and it was like time folded in on itself. "Ethan?" she asked, her voice laced with disbelief and warmth. He nodded, lost for words, watching as she approached. The cafe seemed impossibly small, and yet somehow the world felt enormous, teetering on the edge of something miraculous. They spoke, hesitated, laughed nervously, and reminisced awkwardly about old memories. Ethan noticed the elegance in her demeanor, the subtle power in the way she carried herself. She was dressed simply, but impeccably, effortless style that hinted at a life of success. And yet her eyes, those same familiar sparkling eyes, belied the accomplishments they now hid. As the conversation shifted from nostalgia to the present, Ethan spoke of his son, Jacob, a lively 6-year-old with a penchant for mischief and curiosity. He described the struggles and triumphs of raising a child alone, the late nights, the homework battles, the quiet victories of small moments where love shone brightest. Clara listened, genuinely engaged, nodding, her gaze softening with empathy. And then came the twist. Between sips of cappuccino, Clara leaned in slightly, her voice calm but charged with a subtle authority. "Ethan, I didn't tell anyone this, but I'm the CEO of the company you were always curious about back in college." Ethan blinked, stunned, unsure whether to laugh or cry. He had no clue she had become a millionaire, building an empire from sheer determination and intellect. She was no longer the girl who had left him with unanswered questions. She was a woman who had conquered the world quietly and meticulously. But what happened next was something Ethan could never have predicted. As their conversation continued, he mentioned his struggles with managing work, parenting, and the relentless bills that seemed to pile up. Clara listened intently, and without hesitation, she offered assistance. But not in the way most would expect. She wanted to invest in his dreams, support him in providing Jacob with opportunities he had once imagined but could never reach. She admired his resilience, the quiet dignity with which he faced life's storms. That afternoon, the cafe became a place of revelation, of rekindled connections, and of possibilities neither had dared to imagine. Ethan realized that kindness, his own and Clara's, was far more powerful than wealth, status, or accomplishments. It was the courage to show up, to listen, to understand, and to act selflessly, even when life had been unfair. As they walked out of the cafe together, sunlight catching the edges of autumn leaves around them, Ethan felt a warmth he hadn't known in years. He saw his son playing in the park nearby, and for the first time, he envisioned a future where struggles could be met with allies, where love wasn't just a memory but a force capable of reshaping lives. Clara, with her quiet power and generous heart, wasn't just a blast from the past. She was a reminder that life's most extraordinary moments often come dressed in the ordinary, waiting for someone brave enough to notice. In that single encounter, everything shifted. Life had a way of testing patience and resilience, of humbling even the strongest hearts, and yet, it also had a way of rewarding the kind, the persistent and the compassionate. Ethan walked away from that blind date knowing, without doubt, that sometimes the universe conspires in the most unexpected ways to remind us that miracles can happen when people see each other. Not as they were, not as they seem, but as they truly are.